for the next clip we want to play here. We want to give full props to Richard Southern, who's a fine reporter with City News, who, when this rolled out earlier this week, he put some tough questions to Premier Doug Ford. I think he made the following point, hard drugs are drugs, cannabis is a drug, alcohol is a drug. Yeah. Why has the province banned the first two anywhere close to schools or childcare centers, but apparently it's damn the torpedoes when it comes to the sale of alcohol. You can do that anywhere you want. Okay, tough question from Richard, and here's what the Premier had to say. Let's roll it.
Your government prevents the sale of cannabis close to schools and will soon prevent safe consumption sites from operating close to schools. This Thursday, however, more than 4,100 convenience stores will start selling alcohol. Many of them are located close to schools.
Richard, let's be fair. You're comparing a convenience store to a safe consumption site, injection sites. Last time I checked, the convenience stores don't have needles lying around the front of their stores.
I have to just observe the Premier loves these Q&A exchanges with reporters because oftentimes he's very, very good at kind of ignoring the heart of the question and making a very jovial point about something else. You could tell from his demeanor there, he didn't like the question and he really didn't like the fact that he was having to answer it. No. What'd you think?
It's a fair question, right? Cannabis retailers are not allowed to operate within 150 meters of a school. They have to have their windows blacked out. There's all sorts of policies we have that are explicitly justified as protecting children from cannabis retail. So why would a convenience store be allowed to sell alcohol that close to a school? In terms of public health harms, I'm not breaking any new ground here, right? Alcohol arguably causes more deaths and more chronic illness than other drugs. That was part of the rationale for legalizing cannabis back in the day, that it was not, in fact, as harmful as alcohol. We know, at least, some of the expansion of alcohol liberalization has had some bad effects in Ontario. There's a study suggesting that expansion we mentioned in 2015 into grocery stores linked to an increase of 17.8% in ER visits. Now, 17.8% may not sound like a lot, but it is twice as fast as the growth rate of all other causes of ER visits in the same period. So it was a very substantial increase at the time.
It really depends how you see the issue. The Premier clearly sees this as an issue of convenience for consumers. Yes. There is, of course, the other side of the coin, which is it's a public health issue as well. Yes. What are you hearing on that?
Well, and I think it's possible to agree that both are true, right? We know how prohibition fails, and when we talk about cannabis or alcohol, we have that history. We know what that means. But the experts, particularly public health experts, are really concerned about what this could mean. Dr. Kieran Moore, the province's chief medical officer of health, made a number of recommendations, such as increasing the minimum legal drinking age. The Premier and the government have opposed that. They are not considering that. But I do want to focus on this a little bit. Dr. Moore issued his annual report earlier this year, and it makes for sobering reading, if I can make a pun, about the rising levels of drug use across a number of areas. Legalized cannabis, expanded alcohol use, the rise of vaping. We talked about the schools installing vape detectors. There's just a lot of legalized and hopefully this is safer regulated drug use in that sense. But it is increasing in ways that certainly Dr. Moore finds alarming.